Okay, so one thing you talked about the impact of COVID-19 on the industry is negative. We are all having a difficult and a strained existence currently in the industry, irrespective of where you are in the value chain, whether it's downstream, midstream, or you're playing the gas. It doesn't matter. So the question is this: how do you expect operators, servicing companies, and other entrepreneurs in this space to honor their financial obligations, meet their commitments to banks and other financial institutions, to their investors? In this period, what are your suggestions of what can be done? What can be done from the financial institution or investors' perspective? What can be done from an enterprise owner's perspective? And then from a policy and a government or a national perspective, what are your suggestions? And before you start to take on that question, it's very, very important that we understand that, yes, the oil and gas industry in this nation specifically is the goose that lays the golden egg. So the health of that goose matters. If it coughs, the entire nation catches a cold. It's as simple as that. So again, it's important we understand those interactions and relationship. And what are your thoughts around that?
Well, thank you. First and foremost, it is very important for everybody to appreciate that whether it's oil and gas, whether it is buying and selling of cement, whether it is building homes, owning farms or whatever, as long as we see whatever we are doing as business that will be guided by certain rules of existence, then we would start to appreciate better the discipline that is required to guarantee success in anything that we do. So these are very bad times. I agree, but like any other business, there is the risk element of whatever it is that you are investing in. And how do you prepare yourself? And how do you mitigate risk? It is about forward planning. It is about being intuitive, and it is about being very, very disciplined, either as an individual or as a business. Many of us, we take for granted the fact that, yes, we have gone to the banks to borrow money, and we are really, really struggling. Yes, we are. But all of this is still about discipline and holding on to our commitments. And I think that is very, very important. Otherwise, we lose track of what needs to be done to ensure that we can survive these very, very unusual times. So I talk about discipline first. Discipline is about meeting your obligations and demonstrating that you are committed to meeting those obligations in good times as well as in bad times. Because what you do in good times is an indication of what you will do in very, very bad times. So, having said that, how shall we then get out of this situation where we are, which apparently is very, very bad for everybody? There has to be a framework for dialogue for capital. Because in this country, you know that there's no long-term money. Absolutely. All the capital that is in this country, we are talking about very, very short-term capital. Borrowing money for 5 years, investing in the oil and gas development. You think 5 years is a long time, but it is not.
It's not.
It is absolutely not. And I think this is one of the major things that this country has to address. And it has to be addressed not just by the practitioners as business people or as business people. The banks, the central bank, the regulators all have to come in to say, How do we have long-term investment